All right. Welcome back to the All American Hoops Podcast, episode 102. As per usual, I'm joined by my younger brother, Matt Driscoll.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. We had a little hiatus, so it's very, very good to be back. Happy to talk some hoops. I love this time of year. NBA's back, college basketball's back. Loyola Maryland is not back. Tough loss to the powerhouse of NJIT last night as
But
nine and a half
they
point
are back then,
favorites.
right?
Yeah, I guess they're back and about the same as ever. So, no further comments or questions at this time about the Greyhound hoops, but we'll talk more about some Greyhounds in the league later, but good to be back nonetheless.
For sure. And also, of course, joining us as per usual is our older brother, John Driscoll.
AH, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Matt, I agree. It's such a great time of the year. Usually we're a little bit more amped up about the Celtics, but I think St. John's, even though the tough loss last Saturday, I think they'll be filling that void a little bit this year. But
I
yeah,
definitely
excited to
agree.
talk some ball.
Yeah, for sure. Before we do that, I would like to apologize to our audience and also to you, John and Matt, as well. As we mentioned, it has been a couple weeks, and because of that, I apparently forgot how to podcast. To be fair, though, there was a new feature in StreamYard which doubled us somehow, so that was the reason why that I had to create a new link in the first place. So apologies on my part there. And then other than that, do the squares on our screen look different as well, or no? I feel like they look a little
I don't
smaller.
know.
I feel like they
They
I
do.
don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, like I'm checking and I don't think anything's different, but maybe I'll check something else later in the show. But before we dive in, episode 102, I did do my prep for the most parts. So today is episode okay, no, not yeah, episode 102, but yeah, obviously over the 100 threshold. So happy birthday to Ron Artest. Happy birthday. I think he's the only NBA player that I was familiar with, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check real quick. Yeah, Ron Artest and current day players Andre Jackson Jr., Jermaine Samuels, and Trayvon Palmer. I guess those are a couple of rookies right there. John Jackson Jr. is a third-year player. Happy birthday to Mets third baseman Brett Beatty. Of course, happy birthday to Asdrubal Cabrera, former Met as well. And then a couple of others. The best one, according to WAR, is Mel Stottlemyre. He was born in 1941, played from 1964 to 1974, played for the New York Yankees. And NFL, I had it open earlier. I don't know if I still do. Michael Bennett from the Pats, I want to say, or the Seahawks, I think, was one of them. And also, happy birthday to, I think it's the biggest one that we know. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm liking these birthdays just because towards the end there, it got a little hard finding each player. So yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit easier. Like I said, there's bound to be at least one familiar face in each sport. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, obviously very excited to be back. Took a few weeks off there. That was after I said in episode of 101, you're going to see a lot more of me. That ended up not being true, but however, should be back to normal at our regular Thursdays at 8 time. Definitely, we're definitely gonna be back there. We're back today, and I think it'll be a little while until we take another Thursday off. But yeah, obviously, a whole season, not a whole season, the whole first 10 games of the season has been underway, and obviously the NBA is back, so there's always drama going on. And of course, the biggest drama news has to do with the Mavericks GM Nico Harrison being fired. Last night on NBA Max, Tony from Sports Loon and I had a long conversation about this. I thought it was pretty interesting. But obviously, this stems from the fact that Nico Harrison made the biggest trade and what most will say is the worst trade in NBA history, trading away Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and scraps. So I'm not going to give my opinion yet, just because I feel like my opinions are pretty mixed on the topic, but interested as well. But Matt, what are your takeaways on this news?
I mean, yeah, like he was bound to get fired anyway. I'm surprised they did it not like at the end of last year. I guess they were going to try to see how the season panned out. And I mean, the reasons he traded Luca were, he didn't play defense and he was hurt all the time. And then you trade for a guy that, I mean, we've, it's basically beating a dead horse talking about this trade, but you trade for a guy who's played 70 games, I think twice in the last like 6 years or something like that. Um, I mean, he's one of the worst people at a job in America, or was, since he, just got canned, but truly, truly awful at his job, which is kind of shocking because he had a pretty good deadline, Nico, in 2024 that pushed the Mavs to the finals. He traded for Kyrie, he got Gafford, and I think PJ Washington at that deadline as well. So, I mean, he built a pretty good roster and he just decided to blow up the entire franchise for literally no reason. And now the Mavs are going to have to rebuild completely. I mean, they do have, a great building block around Cooper Flag, but they're probably going to have another top pick this year. And it's just truly, truly disgusting what he did to the fan base of the Dallas Mavericks, who have a pretty loyal fan base, pretty big fan base as well. Truly disgusting. I hate Nico Harrison. I hate him so much, and I shouldn't say I'm happy he got fired, but I'm not upset
Sounds
about
like you are.
I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like you trade Luka Doncic for practically, what is considered compared to Luka's value is nothing. You deserve to get fired. Like that's that. It's just everything about this is really weird because I feel like, Matt, you touched on it. Like the timing of it doesn't really make sense, and like I always think like these trades are signed off from ownership, right? So like ownership gave the okay to make this trade. He did. They kept them along. They kept them through the offseason. And then yeah, they get up to a bad start because like one of the players, you traded for Anthony Davis, who, looks a little out of shape, but Kyrie's hurt. Like if you were gonna keep Nico Harrison through the offseason, like you might as well just let him finish out like the year, see his plan through, I guess. But I guess when your plan is that bad, you don't really get that grace. Um, but yeah, I think we talked about the Luka trade so many times. It just still never it doesn't make sense. It never really will. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that he had to go.
So, John, you highlighted the most important point there, was that ownership had to sign off on it. So I know that Shams kind of shut down Stephen A's idea earlier of the fact that this idea was spearheaded by Nico, and then ownership decided to listen to him. But maybe it was Nico's idea, but which even then, like I don't know if I'm buying 100%, but just like still, it's been 9 months later, and I still think there's question marks around this trade because it was so ridiculous. Like, if everyone knew it was going to be this bad an idea, like it's not like it just so happens, like obviously it's spearheaded by Nico Harrison and by Rob Pelinka, and they have like a relationship, so they do talk on the phone. But that's not how trades work. Like GMs talk to their advisors, and then they have to confirm it with ownership. And no one, I don't want to say no one, like I'm sure people talked with them as time went on, but Nico Harrison is getting full blame for this, and I don't necessarily feel bad for the fact that he's been the fall guy, but I almost feel like the media and the fans are letting ownership off the hook, because not only can ownership kind of like talk down, can kind of say like, oh, let's not do this. They could full on veto a trade, which I know that you want to keep a good relationship with your front office guys, but I think people will understand you if ownership says, hey, we're going to put our foot down and say, no, we're not going to trade the guy that has led us to two conference finals in 3 years. We're not going to trade the guy who led us to the finals for the first time in over a decade. And we're definitely not going to trade the guy who's made 5 first team all NBAs in a row from 2020 until 2024. So, and like, I don't know, like, yeah, like maybe I'm like trying to, I'm like playing devil's advocate too much here, but like, yeah, like, oh yeah, I know that if you listen to Max, Tony put together like a really good case for it as well. Yeah, like he actually dug deeper than me, and he thinks that ownership wanted to get rid of Luka because of the whole because like they want to move or build a casino in Dallas, one of those two options, and we haven't even dived into into the even deeper conspiracy was that the league had to step in and say the Lakers need a superstar. LeBron is leaving, which we can talk. We don't have to talk about that again because we've talked about that enough in our group chats that we don't need to make it an actual thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like I don't think Nico Harrison is 100% to blame for where the Mavs are for where they are today.
Yeah, you guys made a great point about how ownership has to like sign off and stuff. And I mean they were chanting fire Nico in the I forget what arena the Mavs play, and it'll come to me in a second.
Yeah.
But when is that going to turn into, since they fired Nico and the Mavs right now, if we check, the Mavs are 14th in the West and they currently sit at 3-9. I mean, if they end up winning like what, 25, 30 games this year, when is the chance going to start being sell the team? Because I mean, you can fire the GM if you want, but the ownership did sign off on the trade. That's a good point by you guys.
Yeah, so the Mavs are currently sitting, what is that, a 3-9 or something like that? 3-9. 3-9. Yeah, that's what it is. So, I for one think that they're going to wait to make any snap decisions until Kyrie comes back. But I know that people are already talking about whipping up AD trades, which would be idiotic in my opinion. Not only would it be like already basically, I'm not even going to mention that part, but just the most important thing is that AD's trade value is at its lowest since probably like 2021 when he had like that serious groin injury, and then it just felt like he was getting injured time and time again, which it's coming back to that. But I rather trade AD when his value is higher. Like if it's towards if he comes back in a couple of days and then he has like an All NBA-esque few months, then maybe talk about trading him there if you don't think your franchise is going anywhere. But I still think that building a team of AD, Kyrie, and Cooper Flag is worthwhile. Like Cooper Flag, I do think that we've seen young players play with older guys, and it's done wonders for them. So but yeah, and we see the Spurs are kind of doing the same thing with setting Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper up with De'Aaron Fox. So and maybe like I'm giving Kyrie and AD too much credit, but just two of the most talented, two like the biggest talents in the league, and you made that trade. Like obviously the Luka trade was basically inexcusable, but AD and Kyrie, if we've seen them, I don't even know if we've seen them play a single game together, but like everyone knows how fun of a duo they'd be, and I think that they should at least wait to give them at least a few weeks of playing before they decide to blow it up.
I mean, I guess like, do you think this core wins a championship? Like, I understand that this is so I understand this is the lowest trade value. So I get from that aspect not wanting to trade AD or Kyrie, but I don't know. I think starting over, especially with the loaded draft class coming in to next year, isn't a horrible idea.
They have the pick next year, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, they have
they got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume they do, but yeah. But like even though I did mention that I think that AD should they should hang on to AD. What I have a team in mind, but what's the team that you think AD should which team should target AD?
I've been seeing a lot of jersey swaps on Twitter with the Bulls. I don't know what's the how realistic that is, but
from Chicago, so yeah.
He's from Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I mean maybe there, but I don't know I have no idea what a trade package for AD would look like right now. Like I don't know what he's valued at,
I'm assuming
he has a calf strain, and that we know that could lead to possibly Achilles injuries and stuff like that. So I think teams are trying to stay away from that.
Yeah,
but
of course. I think it would likely be I don't like salaries at the work area. I'm assuming it would be a Vooch, Kobe White, and two first round picks probably.
Yeah. Vooch is only making $20 million a year.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And
then this year he's a free agent next year, so it'd just be like a salary dump for the Bulls, and the Mavs could just get rid of him next year.
And then they have like an extra. I don't know. That'd be a good trade on both sides, especially if the Bulls get the guy to finally build around. Pair him up with Giddy, and geez, I don't even know who else. and obviously they finally have another first round pick so they can, but because obviously they refused to tank, so might as well trade for a superstar.
That's the thing. Like, who you pair him with, it's like you have to pair him with like it'd be hard to find someone to pair him with that you don't have to include in the trade package.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the reality of the CBA today. But who knows? Obviously the NBA is a very different place than it used to be as far as goes for building teams. We saw with the Celtics over the offseason. I think we're gonna see it with the Thunder. Maybe not next season, but definitely the season after. Because obviously a lot of the younger guys are in cheaper deals. Like AJ Mitchell is on a great contract, so is Obi Toppin, even though we haven't seen him play an NBA game yet. Hopefully he'll be healthy soon. But at the end of the day, Shade, Chet, and J-Dub are all on disgustingly expensive deals, which all of them earned it. I don't know if Chet earned it, but all of them have the talent at least to make that much. So we're kind of going off topic here with money, but the point stands is that teams have to make big decisions with regards to their roster because of how much money people are making, and that's just the reality of the situation. All right. As long as you guys don't have anything else to say about the Mavs situation, we can probably move on to the next one, which is the new NBA All-Star Game format, which I'm gonna try my best to explain it. I'll pull up the graphic in a second and read it off. But I'd rather just explain it first. So same as last year, it's going to be 3 different teams, 24 total players. And the way that it's broken up into the 24, or within the 3 teams, it's going to be 2 USA teams and 1 international team. And then it's also like it used to be, like it's always been, 12 players in the East and 12 players in the West. But this time it's regardless of position. So so that's one big change in addition to all this. I have my thoughts, and I've kind of already expressed this to you guys in multiple group chats. But Matt, what do you think of this?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I didn't turn into the All-Star game at all last year. I think I turned it on in the background for like a minute, but it kept cutting to commercials, and it was just a brutal watch. And I get the West is way more loaded than the East, and Silver's trying to do new things to, bring in more viewers and stuff like that. But I don't know, like not changing it from last year. And I mean, the All-Star game in general, All-Star weekend in general seems to be kind of dead. I think John mentioned it the other day about how none of this matters unless the players try, and I think we know that the players aren't going to try. So I don't see myself tuning in with this format, and with the effort that the players are going to give. It's just bad hoops. It's bad to watch. Maybe I'll catch up on Invincible or something that weekend, but I will not be watching the All-Star game.
You really have to catch up on Invincible. The new season's coming out soon. Chris, you better get on that too. But yeah, I mean, Matt, you said it. I think I said it the other day in a group chat, but like you can't like I almost like give credit to Adam Silver and the NBA here for trying stuff. But at the same time, like they kind of let this whole like nonchalance, not really caring slide for too long. It's like the epitome of Silver's like reign is that he lets the players do whatever they want until it gets to be like an unwatchable product at times. And it's so true for the All-Star game. I think I ended up watching it last year because I was at a bar and it was on. It wasn't even something like if I was home, I'd definitely be watching something else. It's and it all comes down to the players not trying. And I think, they're scared about injuries. Sure, I get it. But like you see them playing these pickup runs in the off season. Like, why can't we get something like that? Like that's like it seems like from the clips I watched there, like that's a better product than the All-Star game. These players don't really care. It's like a big like celebrity, like they're just celebrities hugging each other all the time. There's like, Kevin Hart's doing some kind of routine with a celebrity you don't know. It's just an unwatchable product. And I don't know. I think it's actually it's almost like a twofold issue. Like the game is unwatchable, but then you're also like forced to just watch these like people you don't know perform, and like all the commercial breaks. It's not good for anyone who's not like, involved in the weekend.
I don't know about you guys, but I actually loved watching Mr. Beast yell he screech on the screen whenever some kid hit like a three, and whenever he
Dude, I forgot Mr. Beast was on it last year. Oh my
yeah.
god.
So
like, dude, that's so terrible. Like,
yeah. But yeah, so obviously I'm totally with you guys on the whole All-Star thing. I only watched it last year because me, Tony, Jalen, and I all watched it on NBA Max, and then we got in trouble for that actually. So yeah, and the entire time actually we weren't even we were barely talking about the game. We were just talking about I'm pretty sure we debated Chris Paul and John Stockton for half an hour rather than addressing what was going on in either of the games. Like maybe we talked about towards the end, oh look, Team LeBron, or like the older team just won. Like it was ridiculous. And the part that I don't understand, and at the end of the day, I would I used to be against this, but I would be 100% on board if the NBA just decided to cancel the All-Star game, but also still reward players for being All-Stars, just because I feel like that's something you got to keep. At least actually, I don't even know if you do it. If you do have to keep the players to this in themselves. If you maybe that'll it won't be in the contract negotiations because this bigger fish to fry, but saying okay, we're not going to the All-Star game anymore, and we're also not going to give you extra money for we're also not even going to get for the going to give you the extra money for being an All-Star, because obviously you guys don't really care about that. So I don't, maybe I'm digging too deep into a situation here, but I don't know. But yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But I'm just curious. It wasn't clear. I'm sure there's more clear instructions rather than on just the one graphic that they showed. But as I said, so 3 teams. So 2 USA and 1 international, 24 total players. One could assume that means 8 players internationally. Okay, so 8 players from the international. So how about you guys start just listing off for me the best international players in the league?
Jokic,
Wemby,
Giannis,
Luka.
SGA.
It's 5.
Yep.
5
obvious ones. Yep.
Sengun.
I was gonna say Sengun.
By the way, I did say Embiid yesterday, but I don't even know if I'd consider him international anymore if he played for Team USA.
It's true, like Sabonis.
Yeah. I think he was the next guy on my list actually. I'll give my 3 more just because. So Franz Wagner, Denny Avdia, and Rudy Gobert.
Nice.
So
Gobert.
I don't know how this is going to work, but however, I wrote out all the players.
You really tried to sneak Gobert in there, right there.
Yeah, I think he is. Tell me who the next best international player is after him.
I don't have anyone on the top of my head.
Well, that was 9.
Yeah, that's right. You
it?
don't. It was more. It was like 10 or 11. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10.
I thought we said there was 8.
I know, but I was giving extra for you. I was giving extra ones that would be in contention.
So you did just try to sneak Gobert in there.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So.
Siakam is better than Gobert.
He's he's international. Duh. I forgot about him. But
Josh Giddey, Lauri Markkanen.
Markkanen's international?
Yeah, he's from Finland.
Okay, I didn't know that. Jesus. Okay, yeah. I hope no one sees this. But
he's not he's just not like an all-star player though.
He made the All-Star game twice, I think, at least once.
Twice he did, but
he's more of an all-star player than Gobert.
Who? No, we're talking about Gobert. We're not talking about Markkanen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying Gobert is not really for the All-Star game.
No, he's not.
Unless they want to make it competitive, then sure.
Yeah. But basically, my point is that out of all the players we mentioned, you added in Siakam there. And that's correct. Only Siakam and Wagner are the only 2 players in the East that are international players. Is that going to be regulated at all? I'm assuming not.
No.
Yeah, no. I think they. Well, didn't they say it would be 12 and 12 from each conference?
They did. There's no way you make it 4 and 4, right? If you make it 4 and 4, then only one of Wemby, Giannis. Oh wait, no, sorry, Giannis is in the East too. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so only Wemby, Jokic, Shea, and Luka would be eligible for that.
For the
And
West.
then, but however, all the other guys I mentioned could at least make the All-Star game, but they could be disqualified because they'd be considered international. Or if any of the guys that are like seventh or eighth, like I'm sure you can make the arguments that like the 15th or 16th best American-born player is better than the 7th or 8th best international player. I don't know. I don't want to do that now, but and I know that like
the top 12 from each conference first.
That's what I would think would happen. But what if only 6 players total in the international end up there?
You can't you can't snub like a better player because he's like international. Like that would cause so many problems.
It 100% would. But if the only pushback to that would be for years though, players in the West have been getting snubbed by players in the East. I feel like this is different though.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's just like it's a more like that's been going on forever.
Yeah. So I don't know the rules, but I'm pretty sure what I'm saying though is right. Like they're gonna have to choose 8 international players, but yeah, like I'm assuming that they're still doing fan voting for like just like 5 starters in the East, 5 starters in the West, regardless of position, and then after that, like maybe they make the teams East and West like that. Like they'll say like okay, so 5 so like okay, so 4 players in the West are international. We only need like two more, like 4 more players international. It's just silly at the end of the day. Like here we are like discussing what rule is going to happen just for only one of the 3 of us to watch it. And when I say watch it, I mean I'm going to be scrolling on my phone in front of the TV because that's what I always do when I get bored of basketball, which doesn't happen too often, but it's hard to be entertained in a game like this. All right. We'll come back to this in 2 months when Rudy Gobert. 3 months. Rudy Gobert is an All-Star, because the Timberwolves are the number 1 seed and they need a second All-Star.
Known better player than Pascal Siakam, Rudy Gobert.
I never said he was better than Pascal Siakam.
He is better than Jalen Brunson,
though. Yeah. Speaking of Jalen Brunson, unfortunate news from Brunson today, which the Brunson news was interesting to me because this was the second tweet that I've seen from Shams that said, let me read it real quick. So New York Knicks star Jalen Brunson sustained grade 1 right ankle sprain and will miss Friday's game against Miami Heat. Sources tell ESPN. He will be evaluated daily. They did the same thing. He said the same thing with Paolo. He will be evaluated daily moving forward. I've never heard someone say that before. Being evaluated daily. Like is that like a new terminology that he's just going to start using? I feel like it is. Like rather than saying he'll be out indefinitely, now it's going to be like he'll be evaluated daily. I feel like that's always a thing. No, am I overthinking this?
I think you're overthinking this. Yeah, I think evaluated daily is less of a concerning injury than out indefinitely.
I mean, yeah, but like what? I don't know. When Shams tweets 5 more tweets saying he'll be evaluated daily when he's never done that once in his life before, I think you'll know what I'm saying because Shams has a very interesting way of tweeting things or like going about things. I think we can agree with that, and I don't know. I'll stay on top of this. Don't worry, guys. All right, so now we'll go into our second portion of the day, third portion of the day, which is just going through each of the teams. We're going to go through probably like the top 6 or 8 teams in both conferences and discuss whether or not we think that they'll be contenders by the end of the year or whether they'll be whether this is just them having a hot start to the season. So we'll start off in the East. The Detroit Pistons are currently sitting at 10-2, winning 8 in a row. I feel like it's the quietest 10-2 I've ever heard of. No one is talking about them, but they've had an awesome start to the season. John, are the Pistons contenders or pretenders?
Yeah, I found myself actually I think the Pistons are a top 4 team in the East. Speaking conservatively, I would say. I don't think they're a 1 seed in the East technically. I was looking through their schedule. They haven't really beat too many impressive teams aside from the Bulls the other night, which, I'm sure we'll get to them. And I say impressive just based on, you know,
Yeah.
records now. But no, I think the Pistons, they have the upside of like a 2 seed in the East, especially if Brunson's going to be out for an extended period of time. So I would call them contenders, yeah, but I don't think they're, I don't think. I guess I just have to see a little bit more to be like concrete about it because they haven't really played anyone too crazy yet.
Yeah, I am on the contender side, but I'm not fully in on them like I am like with like the Nuggets or the Thunder or the Knicks per se. I just have a fun fact about Cade Cunningham. He had 31 misses on Monday against my Washington Wizards, who unfortunately do not look like they're going to hit over 20 and a half games. They
No,
are not a very good team.
they're
But
not. One of the worst
Cade's
of all time. It looks like.
of all these single player performances in NBA history with at least 45 field goal attempts, Cunningham had the second lowest field goal percentage ever. Do you know who had the lower field goal percentage, Chris?
Marcus Smart. I don't know actually.
The original GOAT, Jumping Joe Folks, had a lower field goal
I love
percentage.
that.
But to talk more about the Pistons, I do love the Jalen Duren leap. Cade has obviously taken a leap. They're getting a lot of production from the bench. They seem to have found a spark in their two-way guy, Danas Jenkins, St. John's legend. Um, but they might be like a year or two away. They might need a real number two option on the team. We'll see how Jaden Ivey plays, but I'm going to lean towards contenders, but it's more on the 50-50 side.
Yeah, I was all in on the Pistons in our over under episode, and I'm standing 10 toes down. The Pistons are going to be one of the best teams in the East all year long. I don't know if I repeated on the pod, but it was definitely someone in one of the pods that we listened to that said the Cavs and the Knicks have not done enough to be penciled in as like the two teams in the East to beat. Like it's not like it was like the Cavs and the Warriors are penciled in to make the finals, or like the Bulls and the Pistons in the 90s, or like late 80s, early 90s. Okay, those two teams are going to be the teams to meet up the conference finals. The Knicks and the Cavs have not done enough to do that. Between the two of them, they've only had one conference finals appearance in I don't even know the last time. Yeah, I guess the Cavs last time they made the conference finals was in 2018, I guess, and the Knicks was probably I don't know. I don't even like. I feel like we do this to make fun of the Knicks, like when they made the conference finals last year, but it was in the 90s, I think. Or was it 2000s? I don't even.
The last conference finals the Knicks made?
Yeah.
99 2000, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So yeah, neither of these teams have done enough to be the overwhelming favorites. Like you can definitely say like, oh, based by talents and by track record within the team itself, like you'd say like, oh, well, one of the two of them will make the finals, but it's not like you have to pencil the two of them in. There are other teams in the East that can compete with one of them in a playoff series, and I think the Pistons are absolutely one of those teams. So I'm going contender, and I'm still I don't put any bets on these, but I'm doubling down on my Pistons over for sure. Up next, we have speaking of, we have my Cleveland Cavaliers, who are currently losing to the Raptors by 11. Sorry, now it's 8 with 2 minutes left to go in the third. So Matt, what are we thinking? But yeah, like we don't want to talk about this too much. Actually, I'm assuming. What are you going to go?
Yeah, I think they're contenders if everyone stays healthy. I mean, you see tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mobley ended up playing tonight. I know he sat out last night. But Garland's hurt again. I mean, if Mitchell goes down, that's a huge loss for them. So as long as everyone stays healthy, they were the number one seed in the East last year for a reason. I do think they're contenders.
Yeah, health is always an issue for the Cavs, or always I guess a talking point. Last year they stayed healthy and they won 64 games, so I think that's their. I don't know if that's. I think their ceiling's probably a little bit lower than that, even if everyone stays healthy, just because I think everything kind of clicked for them last year. Um, but I mean, it's obvious they're contenders, and I think they can kind of tread water with Garland out for a little bit, but in order to be true contenders, they got to be healthy across the board.
Yeah, they're my pick to make the finals. So, yeah, like I really hope they stay healthy. Obviously, I mentioned Donovan Mitchell's my favorite player in the league. That's not a Celtic, and I'm a big fan of everyone on the team. Honestly, like Mobley is on my list. He's very high on my list of agendas. Obviously, yeah, yeah, I think he's one of the best plug and play players in the league. Same thing, yeah, yeah, I think the Garland's low-key a great story because 2023. Sorry, not even like he entered the league. He was one of the worst players in the league, like for anyone who got minutes, and then what was it? The 2024 season, he had like one of his worst seasons ever because he had a broken jaw. And then last year made the All-Star game, and being like the main ball handler and a team that won 64 games. And I just hope that he continues. He's injured now, but I just hope that he comes back and leads the team to the and not leads, but as a contributor to the Cavs making the finals. But yeah, easily contender. And yeah, I'm picking them to win the East. And speaking of probably we're 11 games in, and it looks like the teams that I don't even know, were these the top 3 teams? I think that they got the Magic third, but yeah, the Knicks are third now, or tied for third with the Sixers. I don't know. How do you guys want to do this? Like, yeah, like if we all agree in one, like, do we have to dive deep into it? Because yeah, like I think we all agree that the Knicks are contenders for sure.
Yeah, I mean they lead the East in net rating currently with 7.2. Their offense looks very good.
Cool. Yeah. Philadelphia 76ers are currently sitting at 7-4. I'll be the first one to say it. They are the biggest frauds of all time. I don't believe in this team by any stretch of the means. Obviously, Embiid has sat out a couple of games and he's looked good in like he's played 6 games, I think. He's looked good. He's looked great in a couple of them. Yeah, I think like the last game he played in, he played pretty great. I think that was last night's. And then Maxi's obviously looking like an MVP candidate, and VJ had a great first couple of games, but he's slowed down from what I've seen, like from like the box score. I haven't really watched much of them outside of when they played the Celts. But yeah, 7-4. They started 5-0, and they're the 2-4, in their last 6, if I'm mathing correctly. And there's just a lot of games that there's 2 Celtics games that could have gone the other way for sure. Granted, the one game they lost, the Celtics could have gone their way too. But yeah, like I don't mean to bully the Sixers too much because I feel like that's kind of punching down in a way, just because no one really believes in them. But yeah, I'm joining everyone else. Like I don't believe in the Sixers by any stretch of the means.
I think the Sixers are like who the Celtics are, really. Like kind of a 500 mediocre team. Like you said, Chris, they've played the Celtics 3 times in 11 games, and they beat them by 1 once. They lost by 1, and then they won by 2. And this is against a really mediocre Celtics team that, frankly, is, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more down the line. Like if Tatum's there, these aren't really games. And I think, in general, the Celtics have played a lot of close games that they've lost and have been missing that kind of clutch player at the end. Not to say that Jaylen Brown is not that, because I think he is, but it's always, more valuable to have Jason Tatum out there in the last seconds. But back to the Sixers, I mean, I was just looking through like who they played. Like we mentioned, they beat the Celtics twice. They've beaten the Hornets, the Magic, who are underperforming, the Wizards, the Nets, the Raptors, and then they lost to the Cavs, the Pistons. It just seems like they're going to beat bad teams, which is what you're supposed to do, and they'll play the teams are similar to like the media, like kind of middle of the East, pretty close, and they'll probably win a chunk of those games. I know they have pretty good stats in the fourth quarter, but when they played like true contenders, like I don't see them winning many of those.
Yeah, I'm going to hate on the Sixers a little less than you two, just because I'll say one thing. I guess John said something positive about them towards the end there, but I also think they're pretenders. I think they have to move on from the Paul George, Joel Embiid era, because I think their young guys are very exciting, and I think they are true pieces to one day be a contender. I think
Agreed.
the Maxey, Edgecombe, and McCain hasn't played a lot, and well, the minutes he has played, he's looked very bad, but I think he's just still pretty banged up. I think those 3 are guys you can build around and build a future for contending, but I think right now, I think their ceiling of this team is either like a second round exit. I was going to say Eastern Conference Finals, but I mean, we'll see what the team looks like later in the playoffs, but I don't have them going to the finals. I don't have them contending this year. Maybe in upcoming years they will, but definitely not this year.
how the hell are the Sixers going to get out of those contracts? Like, I've defended Paul George more than anyone, and like, who knows? Maybe he comes back from injury and looks okay. But if Paul George plays at like an all-star level for the next season, which he's not going to, but don't get me wrong, but if he plays an all-star season, like I don't see how anyone can justify trading for him. So, as much as we can say the Sixers got to move on from the Embiid Paul George era, they can't. I think their hands are tied. So yeah, who knows? That's and as much as we like to talk about how contracts are untradeable, there used to be a time where in the NBA where there was no such thing as an untradeable contract because you can always attach picks and then you can always move on from them after 1 year. I don't think that's the case anymore under the new CBA, but I could be wrong. We've seen players move bad contracts, but we'll see. Next, we're gonna do the next 5 teams. We're actually gonna do the next 5 teams at once. So that's because we have the play-in tournaments teams with the Bucks sandwiched in between the two of them. So we have the Hawks, the Heat, the Bucks, then the Raptors and the Bulls. The Bulls are currently 9th because they've lost 4 in a row now. Which I didn't realize they lost that many games in a row. Out of those 5 teams, which one do you believe has the best chance, even if the chances for each of those are like 1%? Which one has the best chance to make it to the finals?
So sorry, Chris, could you say it again? Bucks,
Yeah.
Heat.
Yeah, I'll listen in order. So Hawks, Heat, Bucks, Raptors, Bulls.
Okay.
So rank them in order of who's more likely to make.
No, not rank them. Just tell me who do you think has the best chance at making the finals or contending.
Bucks. I would say the Bucks.
I was leaning towards the Bucks because of Giannis, but I think
It's the only reason why for me.
That's literally the only reason why. Yeah.
I kind of like the Hawks a little bit. I mean, they've been playing better. I think they've won their last, I want to say 3 in a row. With Trae Young being out, I think that is, a possible outcome of this season or at the deadline. I know I keep talking about moving these massive contracts and probably nobody will be traded, but I mean, the Hawks kind of play well without Trae Young. I'm not saying they're, a better team without Trae Young, but I mean, if they get something in return, they're long, they can play good defense. I don't think any of these teams could come out of the East, but out of those group, I would say the Hawks probably. I also want to shine a positive light on. Look at me, I'm shining a light on the Sixers and the Heat. This podcast. I saw something about the Heat's offense. Is like I think they're 1 or 2 in pace, and they just don't set any ball screens right now, and they just run and gun. They're super well coached, and they don't have like a stud or a star. I mean, Bam's a very, very good player, but he's obviously not like a top tier superstar. And Tyler Hero hasn't played a game yet, so we'll see when he comes back how well he fits in with this new type of offense. But the Heat have been better than I expected this year.
Oh, when the Heat slow down when Hero comes back, that's gonna be phenomenal for my hate watch agenda. But no, the Heat are actually top 6 in SRS, which I know you guys know what that means, but it's essentially a mix of net rating plus the strength of schedule. So like the stronger schedule you have, the higher. So the Heat have had a relatively hard schedule according to net rating, and they're only behind the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Rockets, the Cavs, and the Knicks. So all great teams. So obviously it's not the end all be all, and it fluctuates big time when there's only 12 games in, but it means something. So I don't know if I'd put them number 1. Like I said, like I think I give each of these teams like a less than 5% chance of making the finals, but I would go with the Bucks mainly just because that's not only mainly, but it's pretty much just because of Giannis and he's actually, I think he's my MVP as of now, just because like I think he's averaging like 33, 12, and 6 on like elite, like I think like 66 true shooting. I feel like I kind of made some of those numbers up, but like but like at the very least his team is over 500. No one was I don't want to say no one, but like not many people could lead those bad teams to over 500. They start. I want to say they started off a little bit hotter, but I don't know if I can see a punch like a puncher's chance in multiple ways that would have to happen. Like that's all the top teams in the East would have to be shaken up, and then Giannis. The Bucks would also have to trade someone. They would have to like make a move at the deadline for someone else. To get like that second score that's like better than Miles Turner, in order for that to happen. But I give the Bucks, and I guess I probably have the Heat second, and then I guess probably the Hawks third, Bulls fourth, Raptors fifth, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mentioned I really don't like this Raptors team, so who knows? But and then the Orlando Magic, who I used to call my Orlando Magic until they played the Celtics last year, and I realized, wow, this team actually isn't that likable. But they're currently sitting at 6-6. They've won 2 in a row. Paolo Banchero is again injured for a stretch of time. I don't know how long it's going to be. But we'll. Matt, what do you I'm not even asking you, are they contenders, but what do you think this team ceiling is as of today?
I still think they're contenders. I mean, it's a 12 game. We're only 12 games into the season. I mean, they literally have to play 70 more games. So there's a lot of time left. It is, a newish team with the addition of Desmond Bain. He was taking a little bit to time to adjust, but I know they played the Knicks on a back-to-back last night, but the Knicks did not look great playing against them. They looked very uncomfortable. Desmond Bain looked good. I still think these guys are contenders. I think they're, the fourth best team in the East right now, behind the Knicks, Cavs, Pistons, whatever order you want to put that in. But I think those 3 teams are definitely better than the Magic. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Magic do come out of the East, because just the way they play. I mean, they beat the hell out of you, and I feel like those teams in the playoffs tend to do well. I mean, obviously they're like the Walmart super light version of the Thunder, but the Thunder beat the hell out of teams last year, and they played elite defense, and that's what the Magic do. So I still like the Magic. I still believe in them. Maybe I'll eat my words in a couple of weeks, but I still believe in this team.
Yeah, I still believe in them too. I think that, um, I know Paulo recently got hurt. He's day to day with a groin strain, so that'll be something to monitor. But I think they just came out of the gate a little slow, and they have plenty of talent to be a contender.
I think I'm selling all my stock, honestly. At the end of the day, this has been a recurring issue. The offense just looking stagnant, and as much, as talented as Paolo and Franz are, I do question their fits. Which I know, a lot of people said the same thing about Tatum and Brown, but I do think that Tatum Brown showed much more promise than Paolo and Franz have as a duo, at least. I don't know if individually talent wise, I'm sure you can make the argument that Brown was the worst of the 4 of them, but as far as it goes for duos, the two, for duos, Paolo and Franz have not looked good next to each other. It's actually been Franz the one that has been he's the one that's been the leader on the floor, whenever the Magic's offense looks good. And just the fact that they don't have a main creator as well. Jalen Suggs isn't a good offensive player. And then outside of that, their defense when fully healthy is good, but they're 12th as of now. They're 12th in defense, 19th in offense. So I know we're saying 12 games in, but it's just a lot of the same things over and over again. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to fire their coach midseason, but I definitely think that Mosley's time is ticking for sure. And I think something's going to. I wouldn't trade Paolo because, I still think he's extremely talented, and I wouldn't trade Franz either yet. But one of those two things are going to happen. You're going to have to either break up Paolo and Franz eventually, or you're going to fire Mosley. That's why I think is going to happen. Of the offseason, obviously more likely that Mosley gets fired, but at least one of those two things would happen, though. If not Mosley getting fired. So
we're noting this, Chris, that you sold all your Magic stock on November 13th.
I'm perfectly fine with that. If I'm wrong, it's not it's not like I have a hate watch. I don't think I have a hate watch for anyone on that team. Oh, KCP I do, but that was only for the one thing that he ever did. But
is he not on that team anymore? Who did they trade him to?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's on the Grizzlies. Duh.
Yeah.
No one else on the team though. We'll go through the West quicker, just because a lot of these teams are contenders, whether, but obviously the Celtics, Hornets, Nets, Pacers, Wizards. None of these guys are contenders. The Celtics are going to be a fun team to watch, as we've said, but they're gonna be hanging around that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th seed. Maybe they make the play-in tournament, but I think eventually, a week after the All-Star break, I think they're going to shut it down. But I could be wrong. We'll see. I kind of want to approach this differently for the West, just because we all know that the Thunder and the Nuggets are contenders. Are the Spurs contenders, though?
The Spurs?
Yeah, they are currently sitting at 8-3 and are third in the West, half a game above the Rockets and the Lakers.
I think yes.
Yeah, I think they're contenders.
I like the. I know people kind of so excuse my language, but kind of shit on them for the Fox trade. How they got a little luck in the lottery and then were able to draft Dylan Harper, and they're like, "Oh, why did you do that?" I think De'Aaron Fox is still an elite player. I think the combo of him and Wemby and him and Harper and him haven't played because they both got injured at alternating times. But Bill Simmons always says like the superstar jump happens before we expect it, like usually a little earlier than we expect it.
Mhm.
And we're seeing that from Victor Wembanyama, where he's going from like a star, like, oh, this guy's going to be insane, to holy crap, this guy's actually insane. And I think he can carry a team, and it's not like he would have to carry these guys. They have a lot of solid role players. I mentioned Fox, Devin Vassell is very solid. I like Jeremy Shohan a lot. Um, you got French Vanilla, the combo of him and Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett's been out for the past couple games, and they're still winning. I mean, I like this roster a lot, and the West is loaded, so maybe that's why I'm hesitant on calling them contenders. But I like their roster compared to the majority of rosters in the West.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you as far as goes for the Fox trade. At the end of the day, as much as people like to say like, oh, you got to build around Castle and Harper as your backcourt guys, when has that ever worked? Just having like two young guys just like fit in right away. Like you got to have a mentor there, and Fox is the perfect mentor. Like obviously, he doesn't have a history of winning. He doesn't have a playoff series win, but that being said, he played awesome in the one playoff series round that he did. And yeah, he's a very good playmaker. He's athletic as hell. So that trade was good. And I was always on the fence with the Spurs because like I knew they'd be a good team. I don't know if they'd be a contender. Like I'm not necessarily hopping off or on any bandwagon because I do think this team has a lot of potential, but I don't know how high their ceiling is, mainly just because their team is so young. And this isn't like a Thunder situation where like their roster is just so good top to bottom and they built like the perfect roster. Um I don't know. But the fact that they're 8-3, Wemby. So people forget Wemby played awesome for the first 4 games, but he played pretty bad for the next 4, and now he's back to, it looks like, playing like at an All NBA level. Um, I'm interested to see how consistent Wemby is going to be for the rest of the year. Because he's going to go through some growing pains, but I still think he's going to be first or second team All NBA by the end of the season. So it sounds cliche to say like the X factor is going to be your best player, but I think that his growth is going to be the X factor for sure.
He's averaging 26, 11, or sorry, 26, 13, 4 assists, a steal, and 4 blocks a game, or 3.6 blocks a game right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was talking about the 4-game stretch where he had 9 points,
Yeah,
18
yeah.
points. So yeah. Anything about the Spurs, John? Yeah, it's okay if you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just as I was saying before, I think they do have the talent. I mean, Stephon Castle's been playing great recently. He had a triple double last night.
Mm.
Excited to see how they do manage the Castle Harper Fox minutes. I hope it doesn't really turn into who's the odd man out. I hope maybe it's maybe they run more of a 6-man rotation, or just like an aggressively balanced out of those guys. I think it'll be interesting, and it's a problem that you want to have, right? Is having got too many good players.
Good stuff. All right. So who is more likely to make the finals, the Rockets or the Lakers?
The Rockets
I think the Rockets too.
You think the
or the
Rockets?
Lakers? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rockets.
Okay. Yeah, the Rockets are currently 7-3. The Lakers are 8-4. So,
Lakers have been way better than I thought they were going to be, though. I will say.
they have been, especially without LeBron. But I, I don't know what to think about LeBron. He's being assigned to a G League team, so he's going to be back to playing 5-on-5 basketball soon. But it's not like sciatica is like a death sentence as far as it goes for someone's career. But he is old, and back injuries are never a good thing for older players. So, I'm gonna. I'll lean the Rockets too, but I don't mainly because of LeBron and also the backcourt defense as well. Like, as I know the Reeves is playing at like an All NBA level as well, but I wonder how long that's going to be. But at the end of the day, I do question like how good this team could be in the playoffs with the Luka and Reeves fit.
Yeah, I mean, I say they're playing better than I expected them to, but I mean the question marks are still there. I
Sure.
did think they were going to be a pretty good regular season team. They're playing way better than I thought they would in the regular season. But I mean, their front court defense still definitely like the rim protection is still definitely a question mark in the postseason. And I mean, if you have LeBron, Luca, and Reeves on the floor at one time in the playoff series, you could attack all three of them. So less so LeBron, but definitely more so Luca and Reeves. But I mean, the question marks are still there. Their offense looks great, but I would definitely say the Rockets over them.
I agree. And we can dig through, the Timberwolves. I know they're 7-4, 1-3 in a row. Out of the way to dive deep to them. We all agree they're contenders. That they're
Yeah,
like
they need a real point guard though.
they do. Yeah. Suns are currently 7-5. They've won 4 in a row. Good for the Suns. They're not going anywhere. Like I don't know. Matt's Portland Trailblazers. We can agree that they're obviously contenders, right?
They do look like they're playing pretty well. Denny Avdia's making a all-star / all NBA case right now. The way
That's
he's
right.
playing.
Yeah. Shout out to Jalen Carter. His guy there.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't wrong. He was just early.
No, he was wrong. He said that he was like the 7th best player in the league. He was very wrong actually. But so
And it seems like I haven't really been super locked in on the Blazers this year. I hate to admit it. I've just been like following on Twitter and stuff like that. I've only watched one of their games, but it seems like that they like from the consensus on Twitter that Tiago Splitter is a pretty good interim head coach right now.
no, that's good.
Shaden Sharp's been playing well too.
So Drew's been playing great as well. I was afraid that Drew was gonna be a deep fall off because of like the situation he's in, but no, he's been making the best of it, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, their first round pick hasn't even really been playing. Jan Hansen.
Yeah, that's right.
The Yang Gang isn't we're still taking bids if anyone wants to be a part of the Yang Gang.
All right, and then Golden State Warriors. I think they'll be the last team we talk about. Currently sitting at 7-6 and have won one in a row.
Seems to be locker room issues going on in Golden State right now.
Yeah, who could have thought? Yeah, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga's issues. And trust me, I get that everyone that like whenever this guy is in locker rooms, it seems like nothing goes. Actually, no, there's plenty of things went wrong with the Sixers actually, so I take that back. But at the end, and I feel like I'm saying a lot of cliches, but Steph Curry has to play at an MVP level if the Warriors want to make the finals, and I don't know if and as much as I believe in Steph Curry for like moments in time, especially in the playoffs, but I don't think he can play at an MVP level for. First of all, the Warriors need to be good enough to be like a top 6 seed in the West, which again, both Steph, Draymond, and Butler would need to play well. Not even well, just they would need to like not be injured and everything. And then Steph from April to late May would have to play an MVP level, and I just don't. I don't think that Steph has that in him anymore. Like his body,
I think there's just too many question marks with this Warriors team again, like health concerns and age concerns, and I mean their depth. Yeah,
Mhm.
Draymond's an idiot. So yeah, I'm gonna say this is definitely bias by me, but I'm gonna say Pretenders over here.
I agree. And
definitely Pretenders.
Yeah, for sure.
5-0 at home, 2-6 on the road.
Oh, interesting. It's usually a young team's problem, not an old team's problem. That's but yeah. Then after that, the Jazz are the 10 seed, good for them. Memphis 11, Clippers 12, Kings 13, Dallas 14, Pelicans 15. So none of those guys are contenders or pretenders. Shout out to Bradley Beal. Unfortunately, he's going to be out the rest of the season with his hip surgery. Which like sad story by him, mainly just because everyone thought that he was trash because he was just on the god awful contract last year, which granted he definitely took a step back. But I was looking forward to seeing him play free basketball this year, especially on a team that didn't have expectations. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much our show. I know I said it last time. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of me, which I think now, I think that's gonna be the case. I'll be a lot more active on all platforms from here on out. Definitely a lot more TikTok videos. Yeah, like obviously we'll be doing this on Thursday nights. I'll be on NBA Max every Wednesday night as well. But yeah, we're 12 games in, I'm very very excited for the rest of the season. All right, cool. So Matt, John, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Make sure to follow All American Hooper on all social media platforms. Subscribe to @SportsFluence on YouTube to catch every episode at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. Again, catch me on Wednesdays at 8 or 9 p.m. on Wednesdays, same channel. And be sure to look at my column on primetimesportstalk.com. Every other Monday, I've been posting my bi-weekly power rankings for the top 10 teams in the league, and I will continue doing that for the rest of the season. This has been another episode of the Armor Groups podcast. I'm Chris Driscoll. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a good night, everyone.